This is Boxing Tickets NI. We are delighted to be joined all the way in Germany with the mighty Celt Tyrone McKenna. How are you?
Finally joined after me patiently waiting like a saint.
We're going to
Fuck's
blame
sake.
Zoom. We're going to blame Zoom for this one.
Aye.
We
Blame,
were
blame Elon Musk or something, fuck's sake. Don't blame yourself.
here the way the
Joking.
world's going at the moment, Tyrone. We could probably blame anybody else other than ourselves, and we probably
Probably. It's Pete Diddy's fault.
it is. I was actually saying someone for your clip today was saying, why did you not have a sketch for P Diddy in your clip? But
Do you know,
when
do
you
you know, do you know
watched
what?
that,
Do you know what it is? We recorded that before the scandal it all came out. So, but see, to be honest, it probably if the scandal had been out, we would have been torn into them, and it'll probably get cancelled before it even got aired.
yeah, it's one of these things nowadays. Like we see with Watchdog and things like that all the time. Anything in the slightest that people could there's things in their sketch that you and Tommy's done that probably people might be offended by and might try and play him with, and that's PC stuff.
Yeah. Well, listen. I think comedy, you should be allowed to attack whatever you want. I mean, comedy's comedy at the end of the day, and I think it's a free for all for comedians. I believe comedians should be able to make a joke of anything because it's their job. So if it's a comedy series, I believe we should be able to do whatever we want.
I think that's what a lot of comedians get famous in the past, and obviously they sort of they weren't scared to cross the sort of path
Yeah, but now they are
and the touchy things. Um,
fucking PC world now as well.
I guess for anybody that obviously has seen obviously your sketch you and Tommy's done, have you got the baby oil off you yet?
The what?
The baby oil.
The you know what? That actually did take a long time to get off. I hate that kind of fucking baby oil. I hate Vaseline. I hate all that kind of shit. So getting that poured over my head was disgusting, and it did take a long time to get off my hair, out of my hair,
It was
from my hair to glorious again.
like obviously everybody's been used to obviously you doing all your sketches for your fights and stuff in the past, and Tommy's went into the comedy sort of side
Mm.
piece himself. But anybody knew that anything the two were going to touch is going to turn to gold, and hopefully the BBC are getting the numbers to get this full series.
I'd like to hope they are. I mean, I think well, all we've got is good reports from it. Like anyone that's watched it, I don't know if they're just saying it to me because they have to, but they all seem like they're genuinely impressed by it and think it's funny. So, I mean, and the first time I watched it, I was like, fuck, is this even good? Because it was me doing it. But and the more I've watched it, the more I think it is quite good. And the episodes that we've wrote, the 6 episodes are fucking brilliant. They're very, very funny. I actually read them again the other day and I was like, fuck me, did me and Tommy come up with this? This is fucking genius. But so hopefully we get the funding for that. I mean, if it goes well on BBC iPlayer and BBC and I, then we should get the funding for the full series.
So at the moment, then it's only the spar sketch. Is that the
Yeah,
sort of
so
test run for them, and then the full
yeah, so
full.
there's 5 pilots up now. They're all about 5 or 6 minutes long. Just basically whoever's got the best reaction, whoever's got the best views and all that shit, they're going to look at and maybe possibly do a full series with that one. So hopefully, fingers crossed, it all goes to plan. I mean, I think ours is pretty good, and hopefully the public agree, and we'll get the full season or full
The
series.
the biased view, obviously, anybody that's a boxing fan, boxing related, they're always gonna say yours is the best because they always we always know when you and Tommy are together, there's always plenty of laughs to be had, whether it's on video or
Yeah.
whether it's not. There's always a laugh to be had.
Do you know what's good about this the show? What it's about? It's the truth about boxing. I mean, everyone when they see two boxers that are on TV all the time think here millionaires, they're loaded. When in reality, you're going home and you're fucking skint. You can't afford the rent. You can't afford fucking electric. You can't afford food sometimes, and that's the reality of boxing. And it's good that me and Tommy wrote a comedy series about that, about the actual struggles of boxing, instead of fucking acting like Mr. Big Shots that will have all this fucking money in the bank. We're actually showing you what way boxers live and with the bravado they have to give to the public that they are loaded and they are fucking this and that, but really they're fucking skint.
Exactly, and that's obviously something I've become well accustomed to. Probably what the last 6 years I've been heavily involved, sort of in the sport in some ways. Like you know, it's bad enough being a boxer and obviously getting punched in the face, but then obviously they realize the cost involved,
Mm.
and like you obviously have a good example as well. We've had fights that's fallen through. We've done full camps, and it's
Mm.
the one in Dubai. We get the weigh-in day, and you're going, "There's no fight." And you're going, "What do you mean? There's
No,
no fight? I paid
you've
this
just
money out."
you've wasted 4 grand, 5 grand in camp every time, and you don't get anything back. You just that's you, boom. See you later. You didn't get a fight, and obviously I've made good money in my career the last few years, but the start of the career, the first 5 years of your career, you're making nothing. Like any money you make, you're putting into boxing because you have to pay your nutritionist, you have to pay your strength and conditioning coach, you have to pay your coach, you have to pay your manager, you have to pay all these fees. So any money you do get is gone straight away. So for the first 5 years until you actually make a name for yourself and start getting a bit more money and then when you do make more money, you spend it just as quick as you would have with the lower pays and because most boxers can't manage money at all, and I'm one of them boxers that can't manage money. I go through money very, very quickly. So every fight, more or less, I could pay these good money for fights, but by the time the next fight comes, I'll be skint. Don't worry about that.
It's not like the old days where you could sort of nearly have a fight, every sort of 8, 10 weeks sort of thing. Obviously now when you get to
Mm.
the stage 10 and 12 round fights, as I was saying to Kurt the other day, you obviously have to give yourself time to prepare for a camp, then time to rest afterwards. So you're sort of going, you're lucky if you can maybe get 3 fights in a year.
100%. I mean, when I started pro, I always said I want 5 fights a year, and that's what I was expecting. But it's so hard to get a fight, and then if you do get a couple of fights, they're going to get there's a chance that they'll pull out or something happens in camp, or there's always something that happens. So realistically, you're looking at 2 fights a year, more or less. That's the average. So I mean, if you're making not great money and then 2 fights, like where else is your income coming from? But I'll tell you, I'm fortunate the last couple of years that I've been making good money, but more a lot of boxers aren't.
And sometimes you have to beg for these fights sort of as well. And you sort of nearly have to undercut somebody else. You have to say, oh, well, I'll fight him for
Yeah,
such and
that's
such.
another thing. You just it's a business at the end of the day, so you have to say, oh, I'll fight him for this X amount of money, way cheaper than who they're trying to fight, and you're trying to undercut people, and then you end up undercutting yourself so much that you're fighting for something that you should be deserving more of. But yeah, that's so this series just kind of pinpoints all that and that makes a joke of it all because it is a joke. It's funny at the end of the day. The situations the boxers be in to try and make ends meet and try and get by. So all that's in it and it's hilarious.
Yeah, so I'll be looking forward to seeing the rest. Hopefully, if the BBC don't take it on, we can hopefully get Netflix or something like that involved for this for a
See
couple
the
of
thing
months.
is, we've already said, me and Tommy already said, if it BBC don't take it on, we're going to fund once a month, one episode on YouTube.
Why not? And they sometimes, like we've seen some of the biggest artists in the world nowadays singing and
Yeah,
stuff like that. Like they've got turned down from a producer somewhere, and then they've went solo themselves, and they made
exactly.
10 times more money than they would have
That's
done
it.
if.
There's been a few like series that have been on YouTube, YouTube series, and then have ended up becoming real series because they're going so well. So, I mean, if it doesn't get picked up with the BBC, then we will still be going forward with it, but hopefully it does get picked up.
Save the hassle. Um, how are you? Obviously, I guess otherwise, obviously, we're what, a couple of months on, obviously, since the Moon fight. And I know, obviously, you'd done a podcast with obviously Tommy the week after, and it sort of got to the stage it was too much, sort of, for you then. Like, how are you? You're obviously back in good form again now.
Do you know what? Yeah, no, do you know what? I am in good form. I wasn't that in bad form than the day after. I mean, I know it did walk off the podcast, but it was more. It was more to do with how hungover I was at fucking half cut of stalls. And I was like, I can't even fucking stay here. So I just left the podcast. But but it was nothing to do with the defeat. I mean, obviously, I was annoyed about the defeat. Um, I'm annoyed about several things about it. Like, I think the fight could have easily been stopped by the fourth round, where the state of it, your man's eye couldn't see out of it. So I don't know why the fight was even continuing until the fifth round. That annoyed me a bit. Um, they deemed the closing of his eye a headbutt when with an English heads once. So all that kind of thing annoyed me that I could have been stopped and it should have been stopped. With the damage I had done to his eye, like he can't box for 6 months because he's a broken eye socket. So that annoyed me. Obviously, he caught me an unbelievable body shot. I can't take that away from him. It was a great body shot. Couldn't breathe. So once he caught me out, it was a game over. But unfortunately, I think it should have been stopped earlier than that.
It was like you were boxing so well as well. Like obviously you were catching him in the way in, you were counting, you're going like, "Who is this Tyrone? Like this isn't you."
Yeah, no, it was this boxing fucking brilliant. That's the annoying thing. But what can you do? Like I just lost too much weight for the comp. I lost 2.5 stone in 10 weeks, and that was just too much for me. And I paid the price on the night.
It was like it's probably like Pete was doing with you for years. He was training you a certain way for the fights, and then you're getting the fight week. You're going going for a war. You
Mhm.
were actually boxing the instruction. You're sort of going, going
That's what
back.
it said. It said to myself before, like I'm just going to stick this game plan. If it bores everyone, it bores everyone. I don't care. Um, and I was sticking the game plan. I was working a fucking treat. The only time that he actually got success, no one knows, is because I was winded. Anytime he touched my little body, I was winded. So first, every single round, I was winded at one stage, and that was when I was lying on the ropes and letting him work because I couldn't fucking move. But other than that, saving my body was sweet. That would have been a handy fight. But listen, he did catch me with body shot. It was a big body shot. It was a great shot. So nothing taken away from Moon. It was a perfect shot by him. And congratulations.
It's typical, isn't it? Your first time headlining the SSE Arena and it ends in defeat, but that's the storybook of life, isn't it? Not everything's
I
going to be the way you want it to be.
Yeah, I don't mind. Like, see ups and downs. It happens in boxing always. People are saying, "Oh, it's that you're retired now after your second defeat in a row," and I was like, "No, I'm still wanting to be a world champion. I'm still wanting to grind and still fucking get there. I still know I'm good enough. Just because I got a coil body shot doesn't mean nothing. Uh, I'm not going to quit until I fucking reach the top. Know what I mean?
The worst thing that could have happened afterwards, and like you were called out by Dylan Moran. Like this is, the
Why is
worst
that the
time.
worst thing that could have happened?
But I mean, in terms of like a wounded animal, somebody calls you out, like they know you're not going to say no. So like when the minute he called you out, you were going, well, Tyrone's obviously accepting that. But I don't know if he was doing that to try and keep you in the game, or if he thought
Nah,
you're
see, to be
going to say,
honest, he called me out, but it was already fucking agreed. So the call out was, I don't know why he called me because it was already agreed. Well, it wasn't fully agreed to be fair, so he was just I think trying to push it forward a bit, but it was already getting talked and it was already basically agreed. But no, I don't take any. I don't say no to fights. Especially all Irish clashes. I love them. Um, so when Dunram was brought to me, I said I'm moving up weight because I couldn't do lay welter no more. When Dylan Moran was brought to me, I said, "Fuck it, let's go." That's a perfect fight for me to get next. Um, he obviously had a great win against Triple O. So let me get vengeance for Belfast.
I was going to say next was obviously is getting revenge for Owen O'Neill. Um, I guess in some ways, like this fight, like is there less pressure on you? Obviously you're as a away fighter going to Waterford. You're probably expecting people
Mm.
to do you and things like that. Like this is the way Tyrone McKenna likes it. You want to be sort
I'm
of.
so happy I'm fighting away. Originally it was to fight in November 1st, and I hadn't got a coaching off sort of or nothing laid out, so I pushed it back and said, "Look, I can't fight November 1st. I'm not ready for it." And it's foolish to do. So we got pushed back, and then Dunran came up, and happy days. It's the perfect fight for me. I'm very, very, very confident going into this fight. I'm feeling great now. I'm feeling like I could do 10 rounds tomorrow. But yeah, it's just the perfect fight for me at this stage. I think it's a good name to get by. A lot of people know him in Ireland. Um, Everyone will be tuned in because it is an all Irish fight. He had a great win the last fight. So I think he's the perfect kind of thing to bring me back into the mix with decent level names.
I was going to say like sort of Dylan obviously has a really good name and stuff online and stuff like that, and he's been involved in big cards. He obviously fought Mark. You were trying to fight and you couldn't get, and obviously Dylan got him
Mm.
instead. Like, do you envisage
Mm.
that there's going to be, is it for once there's going to be like a Tyrone McKenna fight where there's no beef in a fight, or will there be beef on the sort of build up, to sort of G it
I
up?
don't know. At the minute, I'm beef free. I don't like. I'm vegan, as I call it. I don't eat beef, but but the closer it gets to fight, you never know what's going to happen. I mean, the closer I get to fight, I always get angrier and always like I've been trying my body. So I've been away from my kids. I've been away from my wife. I've been dad and barely eating. So by the time it comes to fight week, who knows what my attitude's going to be? But listen, Bill Moran is a nice guy. He seems like a lovely person on social media. Um, so yeah, like I mean, he said nothing bad about me, so I'm not going to say nothing bad about him. He's actually been very complimentary about me. So if that's the way it's going to be, it's the way it's going to be. I don't mind, but I will see what I'm like on fight week.
Obviously, just keep the war for the ring rather, but obviously the love affair in Waterford, obviously just a stage. I guess you don't need to have the beef sometimes, with a fight. Like a fight can sell itself sometimes without any beef.
I, I think an old Irish cliche always sells itself anyway. People are going to know what they're going to get from me. I'm going down there for a war. So uh, and let's be honest, Waterford doesn't have a lot of boxing happening. So for me to come down there, have an unbelievable fight with Dylan Moran, a big fight. I think it's gonna sell anyway. It's gonna be a sold out show. People have been mailing me a lot from down and around that area. They're all going to the fights. They're all very excited. So I think it's gonna be a sellout. And I've heard of the undercard, and there's a lot of all Irish places on it. So I'd be shocked if it isn't a sellout.
Yeah, I know that obviously.
There doesn't need to be proper heated beef for this fight because it's a sellout 100%.
Obviously, we know that Graham McCormack and Craig McCarthy's already confirmed, and I know of another, obviously, all Irish clash going on the card as well. So there's at least three all domestic fights. Like, I wonder if Neil Parr is wondering if they can put an extension onto the roof in Waterford just so they can get a bigger venue.
Honestly, they'll need to. I think this is going to be a big sellout. Obviously, Dilmeron's a popular guy down there. Um, and I'm popular in Belfast. There is going to be a good few coming from Belfast, but not only Belfast, in and around where he's from, a lot of people support me, and a lot of people are asking for tickets to be in the McKenna side of the stadium. So, yeah, I'm pretty excited about it. And I'm glad that I'm away. I don't think there's as much pressure when you're away. I think also because you don't have to sell tickets like fuck, it relieves the stress. Like I mean, I'd be stressed to bollocks when I'm selling tickets in Belfast. Um, so not having that on your mind, it's just I'm fully focused on the fight instead of fucking ticket sales and all that shit. And yeah, I think going into it, I'm just gonna be pressure free and box the abilities that I have. Sometimes pressure can it doesn't really get to me to be honest. Pressure actually, I was about to say it does, but it doesn't.
Pressure probably helps you to perform better as well. What was it,
I
Paddy
don't
Duff?
know.
Had pressures for
I don't know. I
tires.
don't know. It, that didn't feel pressure in the last fight in his boxing well. I don't know. Just pressure. I mean, I try and forget about all that shit anyway on fight day. So um, and when I'm walking the stadium or in the ring, the pressure's gone anyway. So pressure, fuck it, doesn't mean nothing.
Obviously, you confirmed it as well that obviously the partnership with yourself and Pete's obviously now over. Like obviously, what a
Mm.
relationship that was. Like I was trying to think,
But,
did you join him maybe 4 years ago? Is that correct, or is it a bit longer?
I don't even know what year it was. 2019, I think. So yeah, it was 2018 when COVID just started because I was fighting mimoune. Mimoune was the first fight I had with him, and then COVID hit. So I think it was 2019. So it's been a long time. We've had unbelievable fights, like that Mimoune fight for one, the Jose Felix fight, the fucking prograis fight. We've had a lot of big fights with Peyton. He's an unbelievable coach. It was not me leaving him was nothing to do with how good of a coach he is. He's a fucking unbelievable genius when it comes to boxing. But originally this is what my views were coming out after that fight was I wanted to stay home. I wanted to spend my last few camps in Belfast with my family and my kids. and not go away so much. I'm getting fucking old, and I joined. I started training up with a friend of mine and Paddy Gal. I was training with Paddy Gal, and I was enjoying training, but I didn't feel like I was in the zone. I couldn't get my mind switched on that I was in a fight. Like doing the first session with Paddy Gal was great. It was great training, and then I was getting home and I wasn't dabbed properly, wasn't in the second sessions properly, wasn't even when I was going to Paddy Gal's, like I was fighting myself to go up to Paddy Gal's and couldn't wait that it was over just to get home and sit in the house. So I done that for a week and a half, and I went, you know what, this isn't fucking working. I was still training hard. Don't get me wrong, I was still training hard, but I just said this isn't working. I need to. It turns out I need to be away from everything, all distractions. So I booked a flight and I came over to Munich to Tim Yilmaz. He's a friend of mine. Known him since the Jack Catterall fight. We started talking. I've always came over here to Munich. I've had a few weeks training with him over the years, and I've always enjoyed it. It's always been 100%. He's always there. He's always given it 110%, and it's always one-on-one sessions and really fucking working hard. So I spoke to him and I flew out straight away, and that's been a good move because this last 8 or 9 days that I've been here have been hard work. It's been training 3 times a day. It's fucking I am zoned the fuck in for this fight now, and I'm glad I done it because the mainframe over in Belfast wasn't what it should be, and now I am fucking fully focused. I just can't wait to fight now.
Have you got yourself some cutlery yet? I know you've been obviously you come up with an invention, obviously the Uncle
Look at
Ben's.
this room. Hang on, look at this pillow. First of all, Dylan, are you sleeping on this fucking shitty pillow? It's the worst fucking pillow in the world. He's not going ghetto like me, fuck's sake, living rough.
I think
But
he's in car. I think he's confirmed he's in the caravan again for the
so a caravan is like a palace compared to where I am. I'm telling you, I'm in the fucking hood, only joking. But yeah, I'm just glad that I've came over and I've started hard training with Tim. Tim's a great coach. Obviously, not a lot of people would know who he is, but I know who he is, and I know that he gives 110%, and I know that it'll be a great camp. I mean, the last week's proved that it's been a fucking enjoying being over here.
is it just in the like a mindset like you've been so used to being away, like with your extra time in the house, where you're sort of going, why am I in the house? Was
Yeah,
it?
yeah, it just doesn't. It didn't click when I was over. I was like, I don't even feel like I'm faking, and I just like I don't know. I just think like when you're home, you've got a different mentality where you're comfy and we're I forget what Boxer said, but when are you ever going to get up in the morning when you've got silk pajamas on? Do you know that phrase fucking 5 a.m. I forget what Boxer said it, but that's the way it was. I was just too comfy. I was too lazy. I was getting in a bad routine where I was training hard with Paddy Gall, and then afterwards I was supposed to do a second session. I would just skip a second session, or would it'd be half-hearted second session, and then as I said, dad, I was still stealing my kids fucking chicken nuggets when they weren't looking. But but as I said, I'm fairly focused now. I'm buzzing. I'm really enjoying camp.
Obviously, I know you. Funny, the last two interviews I've done, Kurt Walker was in Wembley, Tyrone McKenna was in Wembley. What was the Wembley experience like? Obviously, for Anto's fight.
Oh man, it's insane how much people were there for a fight. What was it, 86,000, 88,000 or something?
Yeah,
But
96.
it's unbelievable. And Kakashi boxed unbelievable. He didn't put foot wrong really. It seemed that he wasn't happy with his performance, but it was a fucking perfect performance against an ex world champion and a very dangerous fighter, Josh Wing. So to come away with a win like that, and he's a legend. He's a fucking hero, and I'm looking forward to seeing where and when his next fight is and who it is.
It's crazy to think. Like, obviously, I know that you and Tommy, and we've always said in interviews and stuff like that. Everybody knew Anto's talents years ago. It took him from to become 35 to become, to get to the stage he's at now.
Superstar.
And
And
now
now,
he's
now,
getting
now he's walking out in fucking Celtic Park, and he's a celebrity now. For fuck's sake, he's no time for us.
but it's crazy. Like what we were saying at the start, where obviously you're saying boxers are loaded and everything else. Like Anto went years and years there, getting next to nothing
Fuck
out of
well.
boxing, and he didn't give up. He kept going, and I guess
No.
we said it in the last thing we done obviously announcing them in fight where they can inspire and things like that. Like when you know that
Yeah,
things are
still that's still what's inspiring me. I mean, I could have given up again there after that fight, but I'm not like it's right there in the grasp. When you're my level of a fighter, you're you're only 2 fights away from world title fight. Like I win this next fight, I get another decent title after this. Bang, I can fight for world title after that in the third fight. So you're so close. Once you build your career, what's the point in just retiring after defeat when you've built for the last 12, 13 years and you're right there, right fucking close beside where you want to be. So he still has inspired me. I mean, he should have retired about 6 million times and he didn't. And and then he went and got the world title and he's fucking flying now. So there's still hope for me yet. I'm still younger than him, so
I'm not sure the age difference is there. Is it about 6 months or so, or is it
no, it's 13 months
13 months?
exactly.
Obviously, just a point today. Obviously, 7 years ago today, obviously, he played a part in a historic card. Obviously, in Belfast when Ryan Burnett became a unified world
Oh yeah,
champion.
seen that, seen that. Who
It's,
did I fight?
he fought Garrido.
Oh, did I fuck here? I was a tough night.
Aye.
I was actually supposed to play Tommy Coyle that night.
That's
I
right.
thought, fuck, this is my big breakout. See, when I got told I'm fighting Tommy Coyle, I was like, yes, this is my big breakout fight. I'm gonna beat him, and then I'm gonna be fucking on my way to fucking all sorts. And then he pulled out the week before, and I got a fucking probably harder fight, Ronald Greedo. The bastard doesn't stop.
He's like a bull.
Mm-hmm.
The funny I was actually speaking to Sean McComb was at the weekend as well. He was another opponent, obviously Garrido. He fought him in the Fela. I think was it Garrido. Did Garrido actually lift him in the shoulders and stuff like that after the
Uh,
fight?
no, he lifted. Did he not lift me?
I'm not sure.
I think he lifted. Well, maybe I think he did. I think he lifted me.
I don't know what's going on.
I have
I
bad memory, but I'm near sure he lifted me. Huh? Because I was in the ring for Sean, and then I either ran around the ring with him with the Ireland flag, or he lifted me. I forget, or he lifted Sean. I don't know.
have to see if I can
But he
find
was
it
there
here.
anyway. He's a maniac. He's a legend. I like Granell Greedo was a lovely guy.
He's like a French version, obviously, of the head kiss we have here in Ireland.
Yeah, exactly. That's why we're such good friends.
I guess like this is you in camp now until fight week, so
Mm-hmm.
there's obviously been no press conference and stuff like that. So you know, what obviously message do you want to send to obviously Dylan for obviously the next 6 weeks?
Who
So
said there's no press conference?
well, obviously, unless are you going to come home for them, or I thought you might stay.
Well, I'm home for November 1st to watch Potty Show and Tommy, obviously. And and then I'm back out here on that Monday, and then I'll be here till the 1st of December, and then I'll be in Waterford for the pressers and the fun.
Yeah, I was going to mean obviously like sometimes they build up the show at the start with sort of having a press conference and not sort of have
Yeah,
that. So
unfortunately, they are actually having press conference next week, but unfortunately, it's Tuesday, and I'm home on the Thursday night, so I miss it. I just miss it for fuck's sake.
you
Would
miss
have
me.
loved it, but sure,
So you're probably
fuck
not
me.
going to maybe see Dylan obviously until fight week. Is there any sort of
I
message you
don't,
want to
I don't know. I'm thinking of putting a wee video, send it to Jamie, and he can play it in the press conference.
singing, dancing? You don't know what
Who
you're going to
knows?
expect.
I don't know. I don't know. It could be a sex tape for all I know.
You can even do like a wee cooking program for him, tell him what you're making
I'm cooking up a storm over
in the
here.
microwave.
Fucking shit, look at it. And see the food over in Germany, it's so weird, sort of. See, trying
There's a lot
to,
more. There's like a lot more spice to it, isn't there? There's like a different flavor.
I don't know what the fuck there is. There's a lot more, it's just tough to find. It's tough to find,
And then you're
food that
used
I
to
like.
eating.
I'm just eating the same thing well, do you know what? Actually, I have prep meals nowadays, and they're actually not bad. But I was eating just chicken rice every day. Well, I've changed it up now.
You're coming home with a German accent.
You should what's lagging?
But look, obviously, I'll thank you as always for your time. Obviously, I know you have another training session obviously left tonight.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously, we're looking forward to the 7th of December for the
I'm
war in
buzzing for it.
Waterford.
Absolutely buzzing for it. Yeah, I like now that I'm away in camp and I'm really fully focused and I'm buzzing for it. I think I'm going to be but it's going to be an unbelievable camp. I'm going to be fully ready for a war or whatever Dylan Moran's bringing, and it's a great fight for the fans. They're going to have a fun time while it lasts.
Well, listen, thanks very much for your time, and I'm sure we'll see you in Belfast next week for Paddy's fight card in the SSE.
It's fun. Yep.
All right,
Hopefully do a
Tyrone.
bit of punditry, a bit of comedy or something.
Why not? Sure, it keeps you busy and keeps you ticking over.
Yep, 100%.
Well, look, thanks for your time, and I'll catch up with you soon.
No worries. See ya.
Cheers, take care. Thanks. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye.